high impact, sticky habits. Are you a Christian woman who wants to maximize her God given potential? Do you want to streamline your life by saving time and energy? Who doesn't? Well, the right habits can truly be a game changer that can make a mad impact on your most successful and thriving life, which means you need some high impact, sticky habits, my friend. That's what I like to call them, high impact, sticky habits. And I'm going to show you one of the most simple and effective ways to create those sticky habits. So let's get sticky. Hey there, my friend. Jenna Dexter here, Christian life and mindset coach for women. And this is Total Thrive. This is where you are empowered to confidently achieve your most thriving and purpose filled life. And one of the best ways to do that is to create those high impact, sticky habits. Those are habits that have a high impact that you actually stick to, right? But how do you do that? How exactly do you create those high impact habits? Because maybe, for instance, you've tried to get in shape. You've tried to spend more consistent quality time with God. You've tried to master an instrument like the guitar. And you started to work out every day, but then you fizzled out. And you started to spend consistent quality time with God, but then it kind of got spotty. And you started to practice guitar every day, but then you skipped a day and another day, and now you haven't picked it up in like 3 months. You had the good intention and you took action to get started, but it didn't stick. It wasn't sticky. It didn't become a sticky habit. So, what can you do to make it stick? Well, you stick it before or after an already established habit. You see what I did there? You stick it in between two already established habits, or after one and before the other. And these string of habits become ritualized. They become a routine of combined habits that you just do one after the other, and it just becomes automatic. It's just what you do. I do this, and then I do this, and I do this, and you don't even really think about it. You just do. Twyla Tharp is one of the most accomplished choreographers in the modern era. Her credits include 129 dance compositions, 12 television specials, 6 Hollywood films, 4 Broadway shows, and 2 figure skating routines. She has won 2 Emmys, 1 Tony, and the prestigious Kennedy Center honor. And she has 19 honorary doctorates. How did she accomplish all of this craziness? One day at a time. She did it one day at a time. I begin each day of my life with a ritual, she says. The quasi religious power I attach to this ritual keeps me from rolling over and going back to sleep. After waking up at 5:30 a.m., she puts on her workout clothes and she walks out the door of her Manhattan home and she hails a taxicab, which takes her to the gym for her morning workout. She says that the ritual is not the stretching and the weight training I put my body through each morning at the gym. The ritual is the cab. It's a simple act, but doing it the same way each morning habitualizes it, makes it repeatable, easy to do. It reduces the chance that I would skip it or do it differently. It is one more item in my arsenal of routines and one less thing to think about. So, when you create a ritual by stacking a series of habits together, you eliminate excuses and the option of backing out. You don't wait until your alarm goes off to decide if you're going to go work out, if that's the first thing that you want to do, or read your Bible and pray, if that's the first thing that you want to do. The decision was made beforehand. A pre-decision was made, and the alarm went off, and you just did. You just did the thing because your body is making an automated response to a habit that you have already created. The definition of a habit is an automatic reaction to a specific situation. So in this case, the alarm just went off. What is your automatic reaction to that specific situation? When your alarm goes off, do you hit snooze and roll over and then hit snooze again and roll over? And then eventually you go grab some coffee and then you scroll through Instagram and you do things that aren't moving the needle on the most thriving life that you want to have. And what would you like your automatic reaction to be in that situation? What are goals you have that you can take action on every day first thing in the morning? By the way, sticking a habit in between two other habits is also known as habit stacking. Here are 2 examples of habits that I have stacked into my morning routine. I mentioned my morning routine in the last video, but to the question of what is my automatic reaction when my alarm goes off, well, I don't use a traditional alarm. I have an Alexa routine set up, and my habit of spending quality time with God, of being in His presence, literally begins when Alexa starts playing With You by Elevation Worship and Rest and Favorite Place by Carrie Job. The lyrics in Favorite Place are literally, Your presence is my favorite place. Like, I am soaking in the presence of God the moment my quote alarm goes off because my alarm is soaking music. It's so awesome. And it's like the best way to wake up. I highly recommend it. And when that song starts playing, my cat knows it's time to jump up on the bed and go cuddle. So usually I wait through the song and I just marinate in the song and give myself a chance to wake up. And when that song ends, it's time to get up and turn on the twinkle lights and turn on the espresso machine and feed Hattie. And all of that was already part of my morning routine before I eventually stuck or inserted this next habit. I had come across a YouTube video called 8-Minute Morning Pilates Stretch by Well and Good that changed everything. I'll link it in the description below if you want to check it out, which I highly recommend that you do. But I was looking for something else to add a little bit more something to my exercise routine. And I came across this video, and I immediately loved this video for a variety of reasons. The awesome woman who teaches you how to do the Pilates stretches is Australian, and I kind of have a thing for Australia, been there. And she's got the great Australian accent and the soothing voice. And all the colors in the video are pretty, what she's wearing and the design of her little studio that she's working in. And it's just nice to look at. And the music is soothing and calming, all things that you want if you're me and want to have a soothing morning routine. But it gets better because you don't have to put on any workout clothes. You just wear your PJs. She even suggests it. And the first thing she tells you to do is lay down on the floor. So I'm wearing my PJs. I'm laying down on the floor. I'm listening to the sweet music. And she tells me to pull my legs up to my chest and give myself a hug. A hug. So all of the above made this habit very attractive for me anyway. And making something attractive is another way to create a habit. So for me, this was very attractive. It was very doable. Easy is another thing, by the way, making it easy, making it attractive, and stacking it. So it was very easy for me to stack this habit after I fed the cat. So I feed Hattie the cat, I lay down on the floor, and I do my Pilates stretches. And in the beginning, I actually watched the video every day. I opened up my laptop to the YouTube video and I did the stretches and everything right along with her. But eventually, I just wanted to keep listening to my own soaking worship music, right? And I wanted to mix things up a little bit, hold my stretch a little bit longer, add some leg lifts and some push ups. And so I kind of created my own little routine where I do some of what she taught me and some of my own things. And it's just become my thing that I do. And then when Hattie's done eating, she comes over around the time I'm doing push ups, it seems. And so I'm doing push ups with her right below me. And it's funny. So remember, the definition of a habit as an automatic response to a specific situation. So in my situation where I have just fed the cat, I automatically walk over to the floor and lay down. It's great. You might say me laying down on the floor is a lot like Twyla Tharp hailing a cab. By the way, have you hit that like button yet? Because not only does it make me feel all good on my insides, but it helps me to know what content is resonating with you that I can make more of. And you should really subscribe, of course. Okay, so another habit stack in my morning routine comes after I make my coffee. So after the Pilates stretching and push-ups and stuff, I'd make the coffee. And then I sit down in my bed and I get my Bible and my Jesus Always devotional. Jesus Always, by the way, is one of the follow-up devotionals to Jesus Calling, which is a super popular devotional. I'll link it below if you're interested in that. But I get all cuddled up in bed, leaning up against the back with my pillows, with all my things about me, including my highlighters for my Bible. And I take my sip of coffee and I say, Good morning, Lord. And I start talking to the Lord. And then I read my Jesus Always and I read my Bible and I pray some more. And I have my time, my quality, consistent, everyday time with the Lord that comes stacked right after I get in bed and I take a sip of my coffee. And by the way, for most of my life until 10-ish years ago, I didn't even drink coffee. I was not a coffee person whatsoever. But I eventually came to a place in my life where I wanted to learn how to like coffee, as silly as that sounds. I wanted to learn how to like coffee because for one thing, I wanted to be able to have something warm and yummy and caffeinated that I could just sit and hold and sip and have a thing to do while I'm having my Bible time with God. That was one of the reasons. I also wanted to be able to go to Starbucks and like be part of like the Starbucks club, not get hot chocolate when everybody else is getting actual coffee or the chocolate frappuccino. It's yummy, but like I just wanted to join the coffee club for a variety of reasons. But one of them was this, and it literally made a big difference. From the moment that I started actually drinking coffee in the morning, it made for a very nice segue into spending time with God. Habit stacking is the fifth chapter in the book Win the Day: Seven Daily Habits to Help You Stress Less and Accomplish More by Pastor Mark Batterson. And I've been going through this book one chapter at a time and talking about it here. But of the seven habits in Win the Day, the habit that Mark is talking about in chapter 5 is eat the frog. Like there's eat the frog, and then there's two chapters that evolve around that habit. And the first one is habit stacking. So last week I talked about eat the frog. This week I'm talking about habit stacking. And eat the frog is the idea of doing the hard thing that gives you the biggest impact, like do it immediately without hesitation. So the way these two ideas come together, the eat the frog and the stacking, is let's say that you wanted to develop the habit of going for a 3-mile run every morning. You might stack that habit after you read your Bible. And you would eat the frog by putting down your Bible and going for that run without hesitation. I'm done reading my Bible. I'm going to put on my running shoes and walk out the door and go for my run. That's eating your frog. That's doing the thing that maybe you don't really want to do, but you know it's going to make an impact in your life. It's going to get you healthy and fit. So you just do it without hesitation. You stop the one activity and you move on to the next. These two ritualized activities. It's part of your ritualized morning. I do this and then I do this and then I do this, and eventually it just becomes automated. It's just what you do. So while the idea of habit stacking has been around for who knows how long, it was probably most made popular in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I will link both Win the Day and Atomic Habits in the description for you if you're interested in checking those out, along with a link to totalthrive.com if you want to learn about working with me as a life coach. And while you're there, you can download the free Discover Your Purpose guide, where you can get super clear on your unique calling, purpose, and God given destiny. So, what high impact sticky habit do you want to create? And what established habit do you already have that you can insert it either before or after? Where can you stick that new habit? And your established habit might not even seem like a habit. It could be like, I finish lunch and I go sit down at my desk. So, the activity of sitting down at your desk could be a thing that you decide, you know what? Before I sit down at my desk, I'm going to do 10 lunges or 10 push ups, or if your God sized goal is to write a devotional, perhaps after you sit down at the desk, you stack writing for 30 minutes or however long you want, or writing a page or writing a whole devotional. Whatever the thing is, perhaps you stack writing after lunch when you sit down at your desk. There are so many ways to insert or stick a habit into a routine. You just have to be aware, what are the habits or activities that I already do that every day is just what I do. Every day I do this and I do this and I drive here and I go there, and every day I drive past the gym. Maybe every day when I'm driving past the gym, I ought to pull in and go work out. Every day when I come home from work, I walk in the house. What can a habit be right when I walk in the house? So we stick the new habit into a routine and it becomes an automatic reaction to a specific situation. It just becomes the thing that we do, part of the routine. You can learn how to get things done by eating the frog by watching this video next. Now off you go, girl. Pick a habit, stick it in between two other habits, and you'll have a new sticky habit. Let's get sticky.